On today's Two on Your Side Town Hall, a lot of your questions to get answered. Like, for instance, why did the state ask for money back from unemployment recipients and then not cash the checks?
Plus, over the past 14 months, we've gotten a lot of questions from you regarding the DMV. And lately you're wondering, when might it get easier to get in? An important update on that ahead.
And what about the coin shortage? Is that still a thing? We've got some answers on one of the unexpected side effects of the pandemic.
We're glad you're here with us. First up for us tonight, we're getting answers for folks who are repaying the New York State Department of Labor after they were overpaid last year.
And many of these people have sent in their checks, and they're wondering why they haven't been cashed yet. Two on Your Side's Kelly Dudzik has been following this issue very closely as part of her coverage of unemployment issues with the state. She joins us now with some answers. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kate and Michael. Patricia Wiseman from Gowanda, like so many people, received not one, but two of those mystery payments of $600 last spring. And then last month, the New York State Department of Labor asked her to give it back. So she did. She wrote out a check and mailed it to the P.O. box in Albany as instructed. But that was it. She never heard anything confirming that they got her check, and it hasn't come out of her checking account yet. So Patricia emailed me on Monday looking for answers. She's seen our unemployment stories during the pandemic, and she has coworkers in the same situation. So she figured a lot of people out there have the same question she has.
We're just wondering why our checks are sitting in Albany and they've not been cashed, not taken from our checking accounts. I mean, I have a checkbook that's I'm sitting on $1,200 that I don't even know where it is. Did they get my payment? No notification that they did.
Yeah, and she'd just like some answers. So, Kelly, I know that you're regularly in touch with the New York State Department of Labor. I have a feeling that they have you on speed dial. That you've asked so many questions. What is the agency saying in response to this?
Yeah, so they got back to me pretty quickly today, Michael. The DOL says there is no delay and that the normal process just takes up to 45 days. So I shared that information with Patricia today. Here's her reaction.
I think it's crazy. I do. That same week, I sent a check to my automobile insurance, and I paid for a year. And I sent a check out on Thursday, and Monday it came out of my checking account. Now, if the insurance company, as big as it is, can take out money that fast, what's wrong with the state of New York doing it?
Yeah, so Patricia's happy she has an answer now. She just wishes the state had given her a heads up about the 45 days and the text or letter that they sent her, because she was worried about where her check was. It has all of her personal information on it. So if you have another question about your unemployment benefits, just email me and I'll try to get an answer for you. Michael and Kate, back to you.
All right, Kelly, thanks. And I feel like people are so lucky to have you answering all these questions because it certainly gets very frustrating.
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you, Kate.
All right, find Kelly on Twitter, no doubt. Now to a question from a viewer named Beth who lives in Orleans County. So she's concerned about getting an appointment at the DMV office in Albion.
Beth pointed out you can't just walk in. It is open by appointment, and it can take weeks and weeks to get one. So she asked if we could find out why it's so difficult and when it may move to regular business hours.
So the Orleans County Clerk, Nadine Hanlon, told us today that she understands the frustration with the appointment requirement for the DMV. And it turns out there was a change from the state a couple of days ago. And as a result, starting July 1st, walk-in appointments will resume at the DMV in Orleans County. So the clerk added that one of the reasons it's so hard to get an appointment right now is that 25% of the people who go online or by phone and make an appointment don't actually show up. So if you can't make your slot, she really asks that you cancel it so that that can be open to somebody else.
Yeah, and between now and July 1st, if you can't get an appointment in Orleans County, one option would be to drive to an Erie County Auto Bureau. Appointments are required, but there are lots of openings there, and you do not have to be an Erie County resident to take advantage of that.
We're taking care of customers from all parts of the state. We're open on Saturdays, so we do get a lot of customers from other counties. For example, in Evans, we get customers from Chautauqua County. And in addition to that, we get customers from Niagara County. The Niagara County clerk does an awesome job. He's a great buddy of mine. They work very, very hard. We just have bigger facilities and we were able to accommodate some overflow. Many of the facilities don't provide Saturday service. We have two of our facilities that provide Saturday service. So we get people as far as Syracuse, New York, Rochester, New York, that come in to get transactions done. If you are ready, with the appointment process, we can get you in and out quite quickly.
And Erie County has 5 different locations. We went online today and found a lot of open appointments tomorrow and Friday. Those are both in the morning and the afternoon.
Yeah, we also looked specifically at the Sheridan and Southgate Plaza Auto Bureaus because they're the 2 that have these Saturday hours. Both of those had a ton of open appointments for this coming Saturday. So I obviously emailed Beth back to tell her, hey, here's the change. Here's what's going to happen. She said in Orleans County, she can't wait until July 1st. So she's going to be making the trip to Erie County. But good to know that at least that's an option for people.
One of the weirdest parts of the pandemic is being excited and wanting to get to the DMV as soon as possible.
It is. I will say this. It's way better than it was years ago. The DMV doesn't have to be that awful place.
Yes, and if you need to go, then you got to find an appointment.
That's right.
So it's good help there. The next question that we got was sent to our Verify team, and it brings up something we talked about a lot last year, actually, the coin shortage. You may remember that it hit crisis levels, with some places not even able to accept physical currency and instead turning to credit or debit cards only.
Yeah, the U.S. Mint decreased staffing due to the pandemic, and then when the economy opened up after the initial lockdowns, there was huge demand for coins and just not nearly enough supply. So is that over? Specifically, a viewer named Suzanne from Wellsville asked us to verify what she had heard, which is that banks were still refusing to let the public buy rolls of quarters due to the shortage. She needs quarters for her coin-operated laundry. So our sources for this Verify story are a KeyBank spokesperson here in Buffalo and a spokesperson for the Federal Reserve.
First, KeyBank says it has a pretty good supply of coins at all of its branches in Western New York. So in most cases, you should be able to walk in and buy a roll of quarters or whatever else you might need. Of course, if someone buys up all the supply right before you, there could be a disruption, but that's always been the case. KeyBank says it's no longer dealing with that shortage and has a, quote, sufficient inventory balance in the vaults. So some good news there.
Yeah, no doubt. As for the Federal Reserve, on its website, the Fed says, quote, there is currently an adequate overall amount of coins in the economy, but it also notes that there have been some disruptions in the supply chain that have reduced inventories in some parts of the country. A spokesperson told us today that there has been a recent uptick in demand, and in March, orders from banks again outpaced deposits, so more needed than they made. This was apparently due to a seasonal change, plus all those stimulus payments and more transactions as the economy reopened. Bottom line, though, we are not dealing with an actual coin shortage like we were last year at this time.
So we can verify it is false that banks are refusing to let the public buy rolls of quarters due to the Federal Reserve saying they can't. There's no such prohibition from the Fed, and in most cases, banks should be able to get you those coins.
And of course, I always wonder who's using real money these days.
Well, now you know, coin-operated laundry is not caught up yet.
I always need dollar bills and coins and never have them, so maybe one day I'll learn. So moving on here tonight, a group of Republicans in New York State now targeting the governor and other politicians, trying to stop them from getting book deals. Those GOP lawmakers have proposed a bill that would ban elected officials from profiting on published works while serving in their position, something they say is an anti-corruption issue.
So this comes after the news this week that Governor Cuomo's recent book deal was worth more than $5 million.
Somebody wants to write down a journal, a diary, and then compose it later, but to go into a contract, I think, with a publisher during their time of office, that's really what we're looking at here. They want to do that afterwards. And I would bring in case in point, I'm less familiar with other state policies and governors, but most presidents that I know of, I typically read their memoirs after they leave office.
The bill is unlikely to get a vote since the session is almost over now, and not a single Democrat has yet signed on as a co-sponsor.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it for you, though.